15th of October 1975. And the title of the Murli is Do Not Be One Who Commits Suicide of the Soul, Methods to Be Doubly Non-Violent. So in yesterday's Murli, we heard how Bapdada was singing the praise of children. In the whole cycle, it is only at the confluence age that we become worthy of praise. And Supreme Soul, Shiv Baba himself, sings praise of we children, we elevated souls, that we are master of oceans like Father. We have both, we become both masters of virtues and powers like Father. And there were so many things that Baba spoke about and praised us in many ways, like how we become worthy of double praise, how we become worthy of double worship, how we claim the right to double inheritance of both liberation and liberation in life, and claim the double crown, how we become doubly non-violent. And this is how Baba praised us. And then Baba asked us few questions about where have we reached, in what stage, and how are we using these powers in practical way, and how are we observing the codes of conduct. What I was talking, I'm sorry. Good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes, Dattabai, we can hear you.
Okay, was I on mute?
Yeah, in between for a moment it was on mute.
Okay.
Would
So,
you screen the Murli or do you want us to screen?
no, I was actually summarizing the
Okay.
yesterday.
Okay.
Are you able to hear it, or should I redo it?
We are able to hear you now.
Okay, cool. So, like Baba was praising us yesterday. The Murli's title is 15th October 1975's Murli, and the title of Murli that we read yesterday, that we're going to continue today, is Do Not Be One Who Commits Suicide of the Soul, Methods to Be Doubly Non-Violent. So in this Murli, Baba was singing praise of children's, and in this Murli, while singing the praise of children, Baba mentioned that we, out of the whole cycle in this confluence age, become worthy of praise. And only at this time, Shiv Baba himself, Supreme Soul, sings praise of we elevated souls, like how we children at this time. I will screen it, sister. I'll screen it. I'll just share a few points and then I'll share the Murli. Okay. So how Baba praised us, and then Baba asked us few questions like how, where have we reached at what stage, and how are we using our inheritance of all powers in a practical life, in this in a practical way in our life, and how are we observing these codes of conducts and being completely non-violent. So even Baba spoke about striking the balance of being non-violent and being Shakti Swarupa. Just a second. So in this Murli, how to strike the balance in all the aspects, and Baba mentioned about Mahakali and Shitala. So the goddess of coolness. So we'll hear today from how to be doubly non-violent. I'll just read a few sentences from yesterday's Murli and then continue sharing the screen. So from Amrit Vela to the time of sleeping, Each step should be according to the codes of conduct. Your consciousness, attitude, and drishti should all be constantly according to the codes of conduct. To what extent have you become ones who are within the codes of conduct? To be doubly non-violent means that impurity, which is lust, the greatest enemy, should not attack you even in your dreams. There should be naturally and easily be the consciousness of brotherhood. That is, you should be an embodiment of that consciousness, that I am a pure soul and I'm seeing only the soul in the body and not the bodies at all. So those who are doubly non-violent in this way will never commit the great sin of suicide of the soul. Not to commit suicide means that the soul will never fall from his completely sapapradhan stage and be killed. To fall from a height means to be killed, which means that we are practicing uh, the soul consciousness, the level of purity, celibacy, and if we come back to this impurity, especially Baba is talking about lust, then it is as good as falling from great height and being killed. So never to commit this type of sin or this type of suicide of the soul. That's what Baba is explaining here. To come down from the original virtuous form of the soul, to come down from the stage of the form of power means to forget. This too is accumulated in the account of sin. This is why it is said that suicide is the greatest sin. Even in the world, people say that suicide is the greatest sin. But why? The actual reason is that Baba is talking to us and explaining this to us. Like, what is that sin and why it is said a greatest sin. A non-violent soul never kills anything. To kill means violence. So, do any of you kill? You have been given a divine intellect, a divine conscience, a godly conscience. If under the influence of Maya, under the influence of the dictates of the minds of others, under the influence of bad company, or under the influence of any situation, you suppress your godly conscience, it means that you kill the godly conscience, the divine intellect. Then you cry out and say, I didn't want to do it, but I did it. Even against my will, it happened. This means to kill the godly concepts, to tell lies, to steal, to cheat, or to deceive is also called violence and is a great sin. So, what do you Brahmins feel? If, after becoming a Brahmin, you use or adopt the sanskar, nature, or words of a Shudra, or have bad feeling for anyone, it means you steal the things of Shudras. These things do not belong to Brahmins. If, after becoming a Brahmin, you use things that belong to others, that is, if you adopt the sanskars or the nature of a Shudra or a devil, it means you're stealing. Similarly, what do you tell lies about? You say that you are a trustee, that everything is yours, the mind, body, and wealth. Everything is yours. And then everything is Baba's, right? However, when you move along under the influence of attachment, you then have the consciousness of I. And to have the consciousness of mind is to tell lies. Is it not? to say yours and to have the consciousness of mind is a lie, is it not? You make a promise, I will eat with you alone, I will sit with you alone, I will speak with you alone, I will fulfill the responsibility of all relationships with you alone. However, in practice, you keep a relationship and connection with other souls as well. Instead of having remembrance of the Father, you also have the remembrance of others. So Baba has asked us to check, like, how many times do we tell lies that you're a trustee, having the consciousness of I, you know, and then, you know, uh, you say it is everything is Baba's, but again, we just say it for the sake of saying it. So Baba is asking us to recheck again and again, instead of having remembrance of Baba, you also have the remembrance of others. Therefore, is that not a form of killing? You have promised, mine is one Baba and no one else. So if you don't fulfill this, that is also a lie. Very deep, deep, deep checking of what is mine and how we actually change it. In this way, how do you cheat and deceive? The greatest deception of all is to deceive yourself. Because even though you know and accept, you still divorce yourself from elevated attainment. That is what it means to deceive yourself. The sign of deception is that there is the experience of sorrow. Together with this, you also deceive the Brahmin life, Brahmin family, to say one thing and do something else, to hide your weakness and extremely glorify your name, or to show yourself to be a good effort maker, is what it means to deceive one another. To make a mistake and hide it means to deceive and to cheat. So, doubly non-violent means a pure charitable soul, a great soul, one who commits no type of sin. So check yourself in this way. To what extent you adopted the most elevated stage of the soul that you just heard about. So Baba has explained it very, very clearly, and it needs no other explanation, right? So Baba has asked us to check to what extent you adopted the most elevated stage of the soul that you just heard about. The Father sings praise of such most elevated souls. So today, Baba was singing the praise of the virtues of such children and was reciting their rosary. Acha? So this is the Murli today. Let us give a lot of love and remembrance to our beloved Bap Dada. Om Shanti. Let us sit in remembrance for a minute and then we move to the churning of today's Murli. Om Shanti. So in today's Murli, Baba praised we children for our special roles and virtues. So how at confluence age we gain double praise and virtues, and how to be doubly non-violent, means staying pure, truthful, avoiding lies, and how Baba encouraged us to stay or stick to our virtues and purity to avoid any spiritual harm. So are there any points that you liked from today's Murli that you'd like to share with everyone?
Om Shanti, brother. A great Murli. This is a continuation of the yesterday's Murli, where Baba has focused on we children to focus on our thoughts, words, and actions. They align with the Srimad. And today's part of the Murli, Baba described as the promise which we make with the Supreme Father, that I will eat with you alone, I will sit with you alone, I will speak with you alone, and I will fulfill the responsibility of all relationships with you alone. This also has come in today's Sakar Murli also, that एक सच्ची पतिव्रता स्त्री एक मतलब always loves her husband alone. So since Supreme Godfather is our Sajan, and so we should always remember him alone. Deep inside, the intellect should be aligned. So that is what is a takeaway for me. It's continuously checking of either soul, is it wandering in the worldly attainment, or it is aligned with the unlimited attainments, experiencing those attainments. And second aspect which touched me is the greatest deception of all is to deceive yourself, because even though I know and accept, still I divorce myself from elevated attainment. So that also the analogy that if I am divorcing myself from Father, I am divorcing myself from the elevated attainment, and the deprivation of the elevated attainment means the experiencing of sorrow. And attainments means joy, happiness, bliss, and feeling powerful. But deprivation of all this is the absence of joy, absence of happiness, which is sorrow. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti. Thank you so much, brother.
Om Shanti, brother.
Om Shanti.
It's such a, according to me, before Gyan and after Gyan, this particular concept of the vice, which Baba keeps calling it as the number one, the in Snake and Ladder, I don't remember the number. I think it was 95 or something when I reached top, but I just come down to number 4. Like, how does he highlight why do I come down this vicious vice? When even before I came to the Gyan, the word suicide, I used to often think what, and I remember when we used to read the Puranas, they used to say human life is precious, and it was believed, and people still believe that we get this human life after taking thousands and thousands and thousands of life in many forms. So human life is so precious. And when we get this human life, we can see, we can have joy, we can have sorrows, everything we can give. But and I've been given a span of life for this body in this particular moment. So that is a rule laid down by Mahakal. So if suppose I go against the Mahakal and I just do something to this body, which is encompassing the soul, I'm making everything complicated. Then what happens? It is believed what I was given. The soul, of course, has to leave because the body has become complicated. But it can neither take another body because it has broken a cardinal natural law of karma. So neither I can go to mukti, neither I can go to hell, nowhere. So, a kind of nowhere. I'm now here, but I'm nowhere. That was what was the knowledge which I used to have. Why suicide is, it's a crime according to IPC because reason, but according to the Shastras. So that used to say, but that moment when a person is going through, even that I have seen encountered. Why do people complicate their bodies and complicate their souls? Because the control over the mind is not there. Why the control over the mind is not there is where which I came to know after coming to the Gyan. It's because the beautiful soul, the beauty of a soul, and Baba has beautified it in today's Murli by giving us double praise. You've got double Father, you are doubly worshipped, you've got a double crown, you've got double inheritance. So that's the beauty which he says, and he asks you to check, keep checking, keep checking. Why? In order for you to know you are not going to commit, you're not going to tarnish it with any of these dirty things. That's a beautiful. So that's what he tells us in the first part of the Murli. Then he comes back to action. He wants us to know what is that which is really the big snake which you're pulling down, all this double crown and double this, even after checking. He says it's lust. So, it's such a topic really, which I do not know. It goes on length. I'm not a scientist or I'm not a biologist to know it. But for me, it is only one thing. It is when a soul does not look at others as a soul, but its eyes goes on its body for that 1 second of a fleeting sensation, then this beauty of this soul is lost. So that's the great fallout. That is why Baba is calling it as violence. So when that act, that wise Baba, anger, everything and all, a second number, others and all, okay. But Baba is saying this is violent, double violent. So we have to be doubly non-violent. So this is where, and even in Shastras, it is there when everyone committed that sin, they used to, there were so many kinds of prashchit and all they used to do. But here Baba is saying, this is the highest sin for a soul. So, of course, very good. Baba is saying, all my children are full pass in this. That's what he says in most of the Sakar Murlis. I needn't even turn my books to see which children are. My children are the 100% pass, which is, of course, a good kind of recommendation by Baba to us. But I was just thinking that word suicide, soul, it is, I don't know, soul is such a beautiful thing. And how that one vice can complicate it, can make a fallout where I was and where I'm going to become. And everything goes off. Even though there are people who after it also have come up, repented and all. But of course, at the end, when the final judgment came, my vision will be given of what it was. It's a very beautiful thing, brother. Really, even though I can tell Baba everything, I was just comparing the word suicide. Whenever somebody commits suicide, that hurts us, that pains us. So the control of the mind. I've heard a sister, I'm not speaking about, how can you really, that is for a non-jnani soul, how not to commit suicide. I am not talking about, even BKs have committed suicide, I know it. But that is something different than killing the soul, which has been made beautified by Baba. I think it's a beautiful thing to really churn on. Sorry, it was Om Shanti.
Om Shanti, and thank you so much for sharing. Anyone else would like to share? Radhamani said, to make a mistake and hide it means to deceive and to cheat. Okay. What are the different types of okay, go ahead.
Sorry, Om Shanti, just would like to share one more reflection, little reflection.
Sure,
This Baba beautifully describes the definition of suicide. It's coming down from the most elevated stage, and that's really something to be something. It's a point for checking that does my stage come do I come down from my stage? So if I am coming down from my most elevated stage, that means I am creating a sin, and which is basically a suicide, because my potential, my capacity is very high. I'm just like Baba, godlike, Bap Saman, stage.
Mhm.
But because of my own non-conformities, deformities, or infirm nature, the 63 births, some nature which I am taking it as my own, I have brought in myself from top to down. So that means this is a very strong checking point Baba gives us, that always check yourself. And the physically it manifests in the form of joy, happiness. But in case the stage is down, that means there is some sorrow. So if there is a sorrow, that means I need to guard myself and become alert and go back to put in more fuel of purity and ascend myself to a higher stage. Om Shanti.
Thank you, brother. Om Shanti. Anyone else?
Brother, if no one is sharing, just I wanted to ask you something. See, in one of the paragraph, Baba is saying, why do you kill? Baba, as rightly the brother just shared, Baba, I'm not killing out of my own into this. It's what of some scar which has come down to me from these 63 births.
Right.
So still Baba says, why do you kill? So can you just churn that? See, like, the father is telling the children that when the father knows the reason, the father is the one who made me come down from the place where I was with him down to carry on the cycle. But when Baba asks me such a question, no, why do you kill? I was just saying, Baba, you know it. It is something which was not my will. My soul didn't know. So can you speak of this justification? That's one thing. And telling God, they're saying, Ada pap maaf ho gaya. These two concepts, could you please explain?
Sure. One thing is that since we know who Baba is, and like Baba praised us of how we children are so fortunate that Baba has chosen us, and Baba also praised us that we are the ones who have claimed this inheritance from the Father. We have claimed both the powers and virtues of Father. So we are very beautiful and most elevated souls on this planet, I would say, that Baba has chosen us, and we are very, very special children. And Baba knows that our original form, right from the Satyuga part, is very, very wonderful, great, and most beautiful role that we have played in this drama. So it is only we souls who have been so very pure and satopradhan. And Baba knows that our sanskar for half cycle has been of purity. And if I am a pure soul, and I say that I am, you know, I am, caught with my sanskars, old sanskars. So Baba reminds us very beautifully that your original sanskars are not of impurity. Though you say that it is my sanskar and I made a mistake, but Baba reminds us that, you have been the most pure souls on this in this drama, in this, right from Satyug. And Baba is reminding us of who we are, who we were, and not the sanskars, which are of which impurity, like which started after the half cycle. So Baba is emphasizing more on our original nature and our original sanskars of purity. So let's say in case if we are trapped or in our sanskars of Ravan, okay, let's say of lust or anything, like whatever we have accumulated, the spiritual powers, it actually goes down to zero. Let's say you are flying, and in a wonderful stage, most elevated stage that you can think of as a Brahmin. And the moment you are caught up in any activities which are, of impurity, let's say even in thoughts also, you'll see that it immediately affects on your stage. You just can't connect with Baba. You just can't go to even the subtle world or Paramdham. As if your wings are chopped and you don't know how to fly. You're stuck. And that is what the stage is. You actually reach that rock bottom stage where you don't know where you are and how to fly or where to go. You're then trapped in the thoughts of body and bodily things or bodily attainments. That's only on your mind.
Om Shanti.
Om Shanti.
Am I audible there?
Yes, brother.
Yes. Today Baba is talking about the souls which kill themselves. And Baba is also talking about the souls whom Baba himself praises, whom Baba himself remembers. That is the biggest fortune, that the God is remembering us, the Almighty is remembering us. But on the contrary, Baba talks that some children, they kill themselves. Earlier, in my childhood, when I used to hear the word Atma Hatya, on the contrary, it was said that Atma to Ajar Amar Avinasi hai. Atma ki hatya kaise hoti hai? Now, today I understood what Baba means to say, that how we are killing ourselves. Baba says that marna bura nahi hai. If you are dying from Dehbhan, if you are dying from body consciousness, it is good. But if you are dying from the soul consciousness and becoming body consciousness, and you are just acting and doing drama in this drama, you are just telling from outside that everything is fine, Baba, I am abiding by by the code of conduct. And in the interior, you are doing something different. As Baba said, Baba, tu hi sansar hai. But not only in Vacha. It should be in Mansa, Vacha and Karna all. But what we do, we say in the Parvos, Baba, my life is yours. Jo mera hai, wo so tera hai. But the actual is something different. Baba is saying that don't betray yourself. You are betraying yourself. खुद को भी धोखा दे रहे हैं, खुदा को भी धोखा दे रहे हैं. So don't kill yourself in such a way that you are killed. Don't kill yourself in such a way that you are killed. You are killed from that wonderful fortune. You are killed from the that what you get from Baba this in this wonderful birth. When you say Atma Amar hai, okay. So Amar means A, Ma, Ra. A means आज्ञाकारी. अगर हम आज्ञाकारी हैं, तभी अमर हैं. Then आज्ञाकारी in what? आज्ञाकारी in Mansa, Vacha and Karmana. If we are not आज्ञाकारी, remove that A, मर जाएंगे. So Baba talks about introspection. Baba talks about inward journey. Baba talks about Sachi Pavitrata. Baba talks about doubly inviolent. That means as we are inside, so we have to be outside. That means we should not betray. Basically, killing means we are betraying ourselves. Remember, imagine what you are doing. You are betraying yourself, and by betraying it, you are then भाग्य पर लकीर लगा रहे. And when Sarv Shaktiman God Himself has come and sovereign knowledge, you should be worthy of double worship. For the worthy of double worship, for the worthy of double crown, for the and due to that only become doubly non-violent. So Baba is talking that be loveful, lawful, Mahakali Shitala, and for that, what you are inside, you have to be that outside only. You should not be that you say something, you mean something different. It should not be like that. Okay, Om Shanti.
Om Shanti. Thank you so much, brother, for sharing.
Dattabai, you had shared something with us. I like that when you said, I can't, when I'm in meditation, if such a sin, when one commits, you cannot, your wings are clipped. Like you can't fly. I think that was a beautiful thing you give, because even in yoga, they say the Mooladhara chakra, the chakra cleaning when it's given, when the energy flows from the Mooladhara and all right up to the Sahasra thing, the energy doesn't move because of I have not taken care of that particular chakra. So they ask us also to purify the chakra. I think even I could link when you said your wings are clipped. But Baba says even dreams. Now that is subconscious. Okay, consciously, if this is there, fine. But even in dreams, how can I be counted for the dreams? That's something subconscious. So how can the soul be penalized for a subconscious thing so called as dreams?
Because what I have understood, or whatever is my experience or understanding for this particular thing is, if you look at your dreams, okay, not even this birth, I'm talking about like it could be like past births also, like whatever you have seen or whatever you have thought, that whole thing is actually recorded somewhere in the conscious and the subconscious mind that it goes, right? So somewhere you have thought about it, somewhere you have recorded it, you have consumed it in some or the other way in the form of images or some sort of stories or some sort of churning that you have been into, or some sort of, there could be some way that it has entered my system somewhere, and that is why it has stayed there. And thus it reflects in our dreams, not maybe today, maybe a week later or months later or years later. It is there somewhere very deep inside. I don't know. Have I answered your question?
I got it. And Baba wants probably, like that Vishwa in the ad, total cleaning.
Yes,
he wants total cleaning. So he's trying, because in Satyug, there cannot be even a progeny of it. No, I'm saying where all Baba is touching us to say what all is there. So I was just checking the height of purity of golden age, which Baba wants us to.
That's why it is Sato Pradhan. It is the highest form of purity.
We read it Dattabai, but to understand it in Baba's language, it is something, like you are putting the soul in the washing machine. And how much I have to double wash, double clean, double dry. I just feel what all, and for that, so simply saying, just remember me. No other thing, just so see how powerful volcanic. Thank you, brother. That was really awesome.
Yeah, I remember again, Baba saying this, look at the temples, how even the idols are worshipped. They take so much care that, no one, any person, he just can't compromise on any of the rituals of that idol also. So the kind of level of purity that they maintain, or in terms of the mantras that they will say for each and everything, I mean, it is so well organized, and the whole rituals are followed so accurately, even in the absence of anyone, like, so that is the care that they take of the idols. So just imagine the original deities, how they might be, the kind of purity that they have in them, in terms of the soul, in terms of the body and everything. So that is what Baba is making us. We are in the process, we are in the factory of becoming so pure.
Thank you, brother. That was very nice. You have not answered my second question. What is Ada Maaf?
Adama. Okay. Now that is only for the like, let's say if you happen to make any mistake, let's say, then if you realize it and seek for forgiveness from Baba, then Baba says that as per the karmic accounts, like 50% is like something that Baba will forgive, Adha maaf. But this will not happen every time you make the same mistake. So Adha maaf means that you realize, and then Baba will help you, lift you, and guide you, empower you, fill with a lot of power, a lot of love, and so that he encourages as a very good teacher, so that you move forward and you don't just be in that guilt or stay in that guilt for a very long time. So it is again the beauty of supreme teacher and Sadguru, that he wants us to see moving forward and not just staying stuck at the place that we were not supposed to be for a very long time, because it will not take us anywhere. It will not make us pure, or because our journey is to be perfect in all the aspects. So he wants us to see that progress. So maybe that is another what we say, a way, to move forward. Maybe that's what I understand. Rakib,
Om
anything like what to, if you'd like to add anything, I mean, please add. Anyone else, if you'd like to add anything to this.
Om Shanti. Om Shanti.
हाँ जी, Om Shanti, Om Shanti.
Today Baba बार बार कह रहे हैं, don't kill yourself, don't commit suicide. This suicidal thought comes when we want to prove ourselves, but we are not doing any purusharth, just to show, just to make our image good. But how can we remove that suicidal thought from us? What I was just hearing and churning, then I got only from, it is said that problem ke andar hi solution hota hai. Then I wrote the word suicide, and then I understood from the first letter S, that if we become soul conscious, that when we are connected to Baba, this thought of suicidal will go away. The second letter, when we are connected to Baba, what happens? We are connected to the upper world, that we become farista. Farsh se rista nahi hai, sirf arsh se rista hai. That is connection with the upper world, upper stage, and then again I is inward journey. Bahya mukta se anta mukta ki or. And in that process, see, we become very, very careful. And when we are very, very careful, the next letter I stands for introspection. We are checking it. Not only checking it, we are also changing it. And another letter D stands for dedication. That means dedication to what to our mission. That what's Baba mission is my mission. And the last letter E, if you really become embodiment of Baba's knowledge, that you become Gyan Swarupa and Gyan Murta, this suicidal thought will go away, will disappear, and this suicidal will be changed. मरना तो अभी भी होगा, लेकिन अभी हम देहभान से मरेंगे, देही अभिमान से मरेंगे. ओम शांति.
Great. Thank you, brother. Thank you so much. Okay. So let us move to the meditation, and Yes, sister. Thank you. So let us sit back, relaxed and comfortable. And look at ourselves in our original, beautiful, and the most pure form of light, shining bright in the center of my forehead, with every thought, of purity, of soul consciousness. I see this bright light spreading all over my body, making me feel more light and comfortable. And in 1 second, I see the sparkling star, I the soul, going back to my sweet home in Paramdham. And I see this beautiful bright star, Shiv Baba. And I see myself in his light. I see this bright light flowing inside me, all around. And I see myself bathing in this light of purity and love. Just one with Baba. Very pure, simple, and light. Baba says, I'm yours. And I say, yes, Baba, I'm only yours. I belong to you. You're mine. And everything that belongs to me is yours. Baba has filled me with a lot of love, with all his powers. And I come back with that light, with that purity, with all the powers and the divinity. And I see myself with that divine light in my body. And I see this light and the divine fragrance spreading all over my room. And I feel Baba's presence with me. Look at okay. Oh, Thank you so much. Shanti. Have a great day.
Om Shanti. Thank you, Baba. Thank you, Jawan family. We meet tomorrow morning at 5 a.m.